元気ですか？そうか。すいません、私は
It's kind of dark here on the outside, so.
ゲームクリエイター石渡大輔と申します。よろしくお願いします。My name, as you probably know, is Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creator from Arc System Works. Whoa.
So that will be here. So everything's okay, but not the screen itself. So just a heads up there.
Junior Motomura, and I am the lead modeler and also a technical artist from Arc System Works. Nice to meet you.
So I'll be playing them, but not on the projection screen. So just a heads up there.
ですね、今日は実は僕たちあまりこう気構えないで来ているんですけれども、ビジョンというタイトルで一応このパネルを用意しているので、まあこのゲームがどういうところに向かおうと思っていたのかというところを話そうと思っています。So we came to this panel today not having a whole lot planned. We're just kind of go at it.
Yes.
But the title, the subtitle of this panel being Vision, we would like to focus on kind of the vision that led to the works that we've created. まあなんですが、あまりこう実は僕たちも話すことはあまりまとめてきてないんで、基本的には皆さんとの会話を中心に進めていきたいと思うんですが、どうでしょう。And similarly, we didn't prepare a whole lot of things to talk about. We were kind of looking forward to talking with you guys. How does that sound?
Makes sense.
では、まあ、ただイントロダクションとしてとりあえず、まずビジョンの話をしていこうかなと思うんですけれども、まず、最初に皆さんにお聞きしたいのが、この中でギルティギアというゲームを知っている人というのをちょっと一回手を挙げてもらっていいですか。So before I start getting into the vision of Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue, etc., I want to ask you a question. How many of you out there have heard of a game called Guilty Gear?
Sensex.
じゃあもう説明はいらないですね。So I don't need to tell you anything about it, right? どうしようか、じゃあ早速、何から始めようかな。なんか。Should we just get into question and answer? じゃあいいよ。それでもうじゃあもう何でも聞きたいことを聞いてくださいから。答えられないこともあるけどね。Okay, we'll ask whatever you want. There are some things I can't answer.
Not yet, anyway.
If we may, actually, if anyone wishes to ask a question, please line up right here. Thank you.
There'll be people, a few blocking on their way, so apologies in advance. Yeah, a lot of people are blocking already. Let me see if I can, no, I can't. It's as high as I can here.
Hello and welcome to LA, and I'm such a huge fan of Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear. One of my favorite characters, however, is missing from Xrd Sign. I love Jam. Where is she?
I want to focus on it story-wise here.
なぜなんでしょうね。Why didn't I put her in there? 真面目な話をするとですね、実は僕たちこのチームはですね、そのギルティを作っているチームってちょっと皆さんが想像しているよりもかなり小さいチームなんですよ。なんでもうゆくゆくはもちろん全部のキャラクターを入れていきたいんですけれども、やっぱりこうちょっと順番待ちをしなくちゃいけない現状があるキャラクター。はい。
So actually, the Guilty Gear team, we're a really small team. You probably imagine a huge lots of people, but we're actually a pretty small team. And eventually, we would like to bring back all our favorite characters, but we want to kind of take it step by step and go in order.
Understandable.
I've noticed that the Arc System has been doing a lot of PC releases. I was wondering when Guilty Gear Xrd would come to Steam.
How about never?
それが最初の答えられない質問。
That's not gonna happen.
That is the first question I cannot answer.
Ah, see? I knew it. I knew it.
Hi, in 2014 at TGS, you featured a trailer featuring the song Big Blast Sonic, and in your soundtrack you also have the song Big Blast Sonic, yet it's not in the game. Anybody on the panel, can you explain why that's the case?
ああ、なるほど。そうビッグブラストソニックという曲はあくまでその PV 用のイメージテーマとして作っている家庭用のイメージテーマなので、ゲームの中では特に使用していないんですが、実はその同じような質問がいろんなところから聞かれています。
So for that specific song, it was made for the promotional video for the game, to be viewed at home, etc. So it wasn't made specifically to be in the game, but I do get that question a lot.
Ah.
はじめまして、石渡レイさん。
はじめまして。
本当によろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
First of all, thank you very much for coming. I've been a long-time fan of your games. Love Guilty Gear, love Blaze Blue, so I have to ask this. When are we going to get a Guilty Gear Blaze Blue crossover fighting game?
I guess you understood that. That would be a dream.
が BB を終わらして、僕が GG を終わらしてから、話が進むとしたらそこからですね。
So as soon as Mr. Moore finishes the Blaze Blue Saga and I finish Guilty Gear, then we can start talking.
Well, Blaze Blue has one more chapter to go anyway. We've done 3 already.
Inspiration from where Ramathal come from? Like, we gave you the idea for her.
Ah, question on Ramathal.
作ろうとしたきっかけはまず最初にそのラブレザルを作るときはちょっと今までのキャラクターとは経緯が実は変わっています。
First of all, when we started making, what was Ramathal? The way that in which we created him was a little bit different than usual. Sorry.
それはまあ普通のキャラクターとかはまず単純に見た目を作って、それをゲームにしたり、あるいはゲームの方のアイデアが先に浮かんで、それからビジュアルを合わせていくっていう大体その2つに分かれるんです。
So normally when we're creating a character, we either have kind of a general image in our heads of what kind of character we want, and then we figure out how to work her into the game world, or we do the opposite, kind of have the game world kind of in our minds, and then we figure out what kind of characters we want to put in.
でもラブレザルの場合は、お話が先に決まっていました。
But in the case of Ramathal, we had the story, kind of her story, made first.
でまあその中で、最終的にそのストーリー的に必要なパーツというのを、まあ、僕なりにああいう形にまとめたという状態です。
And so once we had the story of Ramathal, we kind of then piece by piece came together with what kind of character she actually was.
大丈夫ですか？それで。
Very good.
Thank you for making Guilty Gear. So the reason that I love Guilty Gear is because all the characters are crazy and lots of fun. This is probably a hard question, but who is your favorite to come up with and design as a character?
That's a good question. I can't think of one, but
Sorry, the last part of your question was?
Who is your favorite character to design?
これもよく聞かれる話なんですけれども、キャラクターっていうのは結構その自分の何かの考えの分身だったりするんですね。 例えばその考え方こう正しいと思っていること悪いことと思っていることみたいなのも両方自分が考えていること、まあそうだな、意見の違う内容でも両方とも僕が考えていることで、その違う意見をキャラクター1個ずつに割り当てているような状態です。だからまあ言ってみるとそれが僕の子供のようなもので全然それを比較ができない。
So this is also a question I get very frequently. For each character, I like to have kind of give them different opinions, different personalities. But each character that I make is like my own child, and so I really can't play favorites with my children.
Aww.
Thank you so much for coming, Ishwatari-san. I'm a huge fan of yours. One thing that's always fascinated me about Guilty Gear is how much of it that you work on directly. You do character design, so much art, the voice acting, and the music. And I want to know what the process is like for creating themes, musical themes for characters that you are at the same time also designing and having that much creative control yourself.
A little too much. Let me bring it down a little bit here. Okay, that's more than enough. Perfect.
Ah, そうですね、この曲の作り方もやはり1個ではなくていくつかパターンがあるんですけども、いきなりそのいいイメージ、そのキャラクターのイメージがストンと降りてくるような、まあなんでしょうね、ギフトじゃないですけども、そのようなこともあるんですあれば、もう全然浮かんでこないからもう鍵盤を上から下まで叩いてって、なんかその音がそのキャラクターのイメージに合うかどうかっていうのをこうずっと確かめながら、あ、これ合いそうだみたいな感じで探していくこともあります。
So there are two different ways that I come up with theme songs for the different characters. One is really easy, and it's kind of like just like a moment of inspiration, like an aha moment where I have the character and I think this is the kind of song I want to make. The other way that I use to create a theme song is when I take my keyboard and I just sit there and I play one note at a time and just kind of listen and wait for the feeling to come to see which one is, you know, how to start the best.
That's great. That was cool though. To think about it.
I've been really inspired by music, and I used it to listen to it all the time when I was studying for finals. Back then I didn't really have any time to play games, but what really inspired me was the memories when I used to play Guilty Gear X all the time. And I was wondering, what kind of music were you listening to that inspired you to make this kind of music?
Well, そうですね、僕は小学多分4年生ぐらいの時に初めてそのクイーンというバンドに出会って、もうそこから今に至るまで彼らがずっとフェイバリットですね。
So pretty much from about my 4th year in elementary school, I started listening to a band called Queen. And I'm still listening to them today. Does that answer your question?
The music from Queen is a lot different than the music you write from Guilty Gear X. So I was wondering what inspired you to make
One more lower.
そうですね、ちょっと実は最近クイーンを意識したような曲を作ってたりしますけれども、やっぱり格闘ゲームは僕は同時にヘビーメタルもすごい好きで、ヘビーメタルの曲を聴いたときに将来自分がゲームを使ったりでこういう曲の方がゲームに合うはずだと思ってやってきたんでそういう形になります。
I do make some songs. I am making some songs recently that are inspired by Queen, but when I started listening to heavy metal, that's kind of what inspired me to make heavy metal songs for these games. I felt like heavy metal as a genre would really work well with a fighting game like this.
Ishitari-san. I wanted to ask you, what is your core design philosophy when you're designing games, and do you have any advice for the future game developers?
アドバイスは僕はないですね。基本的にやっぱり書きたいと思うものがあるから手が動くみたいなところがあるので、なんか人から何かを言われることじゃない気がするんですね。まあそれをきっかけにやる気を出してくれるというんだったらなんかこういろいろ頑張れって言葉をかけたいんですけれども。
I really don't have any advice for them, but I can say that if you have something that you want to make, you just got to start making it. And what I can say to those people is, "Ganbare, you can do it."
So, I remember back in the earlier Guilty Gear games that you used to do the voice acting for Soul. So, what caused you to stop, but also could you say Dragon Install for me?
.そうですね、僕がその声優をしなくなったのは単純に僕がその自分の声優のクオリティに納得がいかないということと、やはり長いドラマを撮るようになったんですね。ストーリーを見せるために声優さんを使って、長いドラマを撮るといった時に、やはり声優さんというのは本物の声優さんがいまして、それと一緒に演技をするにはさすがにクオリティも足りないし、声優さん自体に失礼だと僕自身は思っているので、やめました。
So, with regards to the first part of your question, why I stopped doing Soul Bad Guy, really, to be honest, it was because I didn't really like my Soul Bad Guy anymore. I wanted, when we, for the later games, when we wanted to have kind of a longer story, a longer drama, and a more kind of, well put together, a more put together drama, we wanted a real voice actor, and I just wasn't happy with my Soul Bad Guy.
Understandable.
What was it, Soul?
Dragon Install.
This will be the last time.
口にしていないんですけれども。
I haven't said that in a long, long time.
大丈夫なんですか、そんなに。
I wonder, do you still want me to say it?
どんなものが。
Yes.
I want to see it. Why not?
You'll be okay with whatever comes out of my mouth.
Got it.
Are you sure?
I'm ready. Nice. We're down to a minute here.
How you doing, Ishitari-san? I want to say thank you. I know a lot of us are really happy that you've come to the United States to finally meet you. We've been fans probably from the first game on PS1 till recently on Xrd. We're looking forward to Reveliter. I see more characters that come up. My question is, with the Valentines, you've had Valentine Guilty Gear Overture, where her design was kind of like a bat, Ramathal is kind of a cat, and you have Alpha like a rabbit. Is there some kind of just design, that you chose to do that way in animal forms?
So I think we'll be okay here. Nearly down 20 seconds to the 20-minute mark, so. Oh, this guy's going up.
ただやはり何かキャラクターを作るときに個性をできるだけ作ろうと思っていて、で、その結果的に何かこの子にはこれだけその子にしかない動きみたいなものとか見た目みたいなのができるだけ探しているので、結果的にそうやってこううまい具合に分かれて猫っぽくなったり鳥っぽくなったりしたから。
When I'm making characters, I want to give each character kind of their own personality, their own look, their own way they move, their own kind of feel. And so in the process of coming up with kind of a unique identity for people, some of them just happen to come up and be rabbits or cats or bats.
Hello, Mr. Ishwatari. Konnichiwa. So when Jacko was revealed and I saw her gameplay, I was really excited because I really liked Overture a lot. Yeah, I really liked it. I would love to see a sequel, but I did notice something. So I noticed that Eno is a sadist, Raven is a masochist, and I'm assuming Jacko is bondage. So if those three make up a BDSM sort of aspect for that man, was that an intentional part of the design? And if so, what's next?
That was a great question. I didn't even know that. Oh man.
そういうことは意識してないですけれども、そうですね、やはりある程度極端にやっぱりキャラクターをデザインするときに性格にしても見た目にしてもできるだけ際立った形で特徴を出していきたいので、その結果的に、イノは悪役っぽいんであればもっとその悪役っぽさが目立つようなものをその中でレイブンというキャラクターは、ちょっとその窓っぽいところが特徴であるみたいな分かれ方はもちろんしていると思います。ではじゃあ次にどんなのが来るのかということなんですけれども、それは楽しみにしてください。
So again, I wasn't really thinking I want to make an a bondage character. Much like the animal type characters, it just kind of they kind of were created and grown when I was coming up with different unique identities. So then you might ask, well, what kind of unique identity are you going to give the next characters? Well, that's something you'll just have to look forward to.
That way.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vladdy-san. I was wondering, I've noticed that there are a bunch of concepts and ideas, both story-wise and gameplay-wise, that are in Xrd right now. I was wondering, are there any major concepts or ideas that you wanted to include, but you were not able to?
ですね、それはもう数えたらキリがないぐらい、ありますね。やはりデザイン的な部分も、ゲームデザインですね、ピクチャーとしてのデザインとゲームとしてのデザインと、もうそれぞれにやりたいことは山ほどあるんですけれども、先ほど言ったように我々のチームはそんなに大きくなってですね、締め切りまでにそれを作り切るのは非常に大変です。なので僕のシナリオプロットよりもアイデアとしてストックされている文章量の方がだんだん多くなっていきました。
With regards to the concepts of the gameplay and the story, or the picture, how the characters look, I do have a ton of ideas that I want to include and put into the game that I've just kind of been stockpiling, and we can't put everything we want into a single game.
Hello, I'm actually asking this question, Luke, my friend who can't make it here to Anime Expo to actually talk to today. He's a great fan. He's asking, why aren't you porting Guilty Gear Xrd to Xbox One?
To Xbox One? Unfortunately, I don't get to make that decision. Sorry.
I mean, I will say this: if Japan is any indication as far as sales to Xbox One goes.
Hello, I'm a big fan of your music and Guilty Gear. It's actually what helped me get into heavy metal. So my question is, what instruments do you play usually in your compositions?
Ah, 基本的に僕は楽器を弾かないんですけれども、パソコンとギターを1本だけ一応用意して、でそのギターは弾くというよりはそのコードの確認ですねのために使っています。
So I don't actually play the different instruments. What I have is I have my computer and I have a guitar, but more so than playing the guitar, I kind of use the guitar to find chords.
Mr. Shibutari, this is for Mr. Shibutari. Have you ever been burst grabbed?
Have you ever been what?
Burst grab. Grab your burst. Is anyone on control right now?
Oh man. Oh. He had to ask that, didn't he? Oh man.
A lot of times.
僕まだ43歳なんですけど、40年も生きていればそんなことたくさんありますね。
Yeah, no matter who you are, if you're about 40 years old, it'll happen to you a lot of times.
That's a fun question. That's great.
Hello, Mr. Ishwatari. I've been playing since the original Guilty Gear, and I always wanted to ask, when I was a kid, I saw pictures of a rendered Guilty Gear. Is that real?
I'll tell you this right now, I never played the original, so.
それはですね、実はちょっと長い話になりますけど、いいですか？
It's going to be a little bit of a long story, but is that okay?
実はですね、その当時、僕は 2D でもちろん最初からギルティギアを作りたかったんですけれども、
So at the time, I knew that first I wanted to make a 2D Guilty Gear.
でその当時のある会社の先輩から 3D で行けと無理やり言われて。
And then at the time, even though I was thinking of doing 2D, I was told by one of my superiors in my company, go 3D.
それで、その時は、まあ、やはり今ほどそのアニメのように見せる技術がなかったので、僕は 3D が本当に嫌で、それで作ってたと、まず。
But like the technology we have now to make 3D look like anime, we didn't have that back then, so even though I really didn't want to do it, we did.
でも、なんかのきっかけでその先輩がいなくなったんですね。
But then, for a reason I won't go into now, that superior of mine just kind of stopped being around.
まあ、そういうことです。つまり、そこから僕はすぐに 2D に切り替えました。
And that's when it changed.
Shibutari-san, welcome back. It's good to see you again. So I play guitar as a hobby, and I really love playing your music. I'm wondering, do you ever play any of your songs after you're done composing them?
When you say play, like play himself?
Yeah,
play. 基本的にはないですけれども、一度だけ先ほど流れたヘビーデイというのをライブでやったことはあります。
In general, no, but Heavy Day, the video you just saw. There was one show that I did where I played Heavy Day.
Hi, I want to know, was it really difficult for you to understand the Unreal Engine?
So それは、テクニカルアーティストがせっかく来てるんで、ちょっと詳しく聞いてみましょう。
Because we have our technical artist with us here today, let's hear from him. I was looking forward to not having to say anything. It wasn't that difficult.
The reason why we chose Unreal Engine was that we had lots of artists in our team. It was mainly an artist team. And the reason why we chose Unreal Engine was because it's easier for the artists to actually get into it and put data into the game by themselves.
Daisuke-san, I know you draw a lot of inspiration from rock and heavy metal music for your characters in Guilty Gear, with your design or attack names in particular. For Leo Whitefang, what music and bands inspired you to create this design, or maybe some of the names of his attack moves?
Oh. ですね、特にそのレオを作るときには音楽を聴いてたということはないんですが、わかるかな、ブラインドガーディアンっていうバンドがあるんですが、僕はそのレオを書いているときにはそういうものはイメージしてました。Have you heard of Blind Guardian?
I would say, if I had to say, that any band that in particular that helped me come up with the creation of Leo Whitefang, it would be Blind Guardian.
Hi, Daisuke-san, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Anyways, I'm a big Eddie Zato 1 fan. Every tournament I enter, and I'm just wondering, what was the inspiration for creating Zato 1?
インスピレーションというのはそうですね、まあ、パッて浮かんだからなんかちょっとなんか浮かんだものをとにかくすぐに形にしたいって思ってた結果でしかないと思います。なんかその影が使えたらかっこいい。昔よく日本の漫画で、忍者が影を使うみたいなのが多かったんで、まあ、そういうようなシチュエーションのキャラクターを作りたいって言って、まあ、このような形になっています。
Well, just like with all my other characters, I just kind of used just what kind of came to me at the moment. But for this character in particular, in a lot of old Japanese manga, you had ninjas, and ninjas would utilize shadow in order to do their ninjutsu and to get around it. So that was kind of one of the ideas or concepts behind the character.
So as an aspiring guitar player, I wanted to know, when are you going to release any tabs for Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue?
If ever.
まずそれをやるにはですね、譜面を探すところから始めなくちゃいけないんですけれども。
So in order to do that, first I'd have to find my notes.
結構やっぱそういう声が多いんで、まあ、何かの機会にはやりたいというのですでに会社の方でも言っているんで、まあ、ちょっといつになるかわからないけど楽しみにしていてください。
As it turns out, a lot of people have been asking for them, but I can't say exactly when or if it'll happen, but just keep looking forward to it.
Hello, Mr. Yoshiwatari-san. I would like to ask, ever since Bridget Well, ever since we knew Bridget had a twin sister. Well, okay. Will we ever see him in the future installments?
Sorry, what was the last part of your question?
Will we ever see him in a future installment?
それは3つ目の内容ですけれども、ただ最終的にはやっぱり先ほども言った通り全キャラクターを出していきたいなと思ってます。昔そのゲームを遊んでくれた人たちが、何らかのような理由で好きになってくれて、それのおかげで育っているのがキャラクターたちなので、必ずみんなにそれを提供できるように頑張っている。
So that leads us to the third thing of the day that I can't say. However, one thing I believe is the players kind of create the characters, and they decide, which ones are the favorite characters. And like I was saying before, I do eventually want to bring back all of everyone's favorite characters, but like I said, I can't just say at this moment.
So, Mr. Ishiwatari, across the Guilty Gear series, you have a lot of credits. Out of all of those contributions, which are you the most proud of?
People in specific. You're talking about credits like people, specifically people, or?
Well, I mean like the music
that he has done himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, それが全部できているということが一つの誇りですかね。
The fact that I can do all of them and have you guys like it is something I'm proud of.
How systematic is your method of composition when you're composing your music?
パソコンでいわゆるミディというものを使ってます。ソフトで言えばキューベースというものなんですけれども、そういうことですかね。
You're talking about like what I use? I use MIDIs and Cubase when I'm making it.
I actually meant how much do you actually think about making the music? Like, do you think about the chord progression first or the melody first, or do you just do whatever?
はいはい。もうそれさっきの質問ですよ。だから一個ずつ音を探していったり突然降りてきたりすることがある。でもこれただたまにその一個ずつをした時でも全く降りてこないことがあって、でそういう時は基本的に頭から一番最初曲の一番最初から考えることになります。ただ降りてくる時はいきなりその曲の途中の部分が降りてきたりすることがある。
So like I was saying before, I kind of have two typical ways that I create theme songs. For example, one is it just comes to me. Another way would be I just kind of go down the keyboard and do one sound at a time and find the one that fits best. But when those don't work, I typically find it best for the creation process to start from the beginning. But there are also times where I start from the middle of the song.
So thank you again for coming. This is like your second time. And so my question is, can we get married? No, I'm kidding. So my real question is, when you're composing a song, how long does it usually take and how do you know when it's done?
You know what? I'll stop here and record again.
短いと1日で、長いと大体5日かかります。
So the shorter songs take about a day, the longer songs take about 3 days.
でも音楽は実はそこからも完成って言えるタイミングが何回かあって、最終的に出力されたのが一番の完成になるんですね。だからスタジオで録音してそのギタリストが実際に弾いたりしてまた音が変わるし、 ベーシストが弾いた時にもまた音が変わってくる。でそれを含めると、まあ、結構実は時間がかかります。
As far as when I can feel like the song is truly finished, sometimes it's when I'm making it on my computer, other times it's when we're in the studio and the guitarist plays a certain way, or when the bassist plays a certain way. So it really just depends on the song.
Hi, Mr. Ishiwatari. I was wondering why the game is called Guilty Gear Xrd as opposed to like Guilty Gear X3 or I don't know. You could try Guilty Gear XXX. That
I do kind of wonder that though. But then again, the XXX is a no-no. A definite no-no.
Well, it's basically just that reason I was told I couldn't say XXX in the game. So.
Right. That makes sense. Makes sense.
X っていうのがちょうどその2個目のタイトルのなんですけれども、3作目はじゃあどうやってどういう響きにしようか。これ X っていうのは造語なんですね。別にこの世にはない言葉。で、3作目もそうしようっていうのが決まったんで、それは社員とですね、お茶を飲みながらずっと考えてました。
For in Japanese XX we call it X, and then for Xrd or Xrd, the way I came up with it was I was drinking tea with one of my other workmates, and we just kind of came up with it then. Two more questions.
Two more.
Okay.
And we will have some film that you can see. And, so two more.
Yeah, 2 more questions.
And so sorry. Thank you for staying.
Hello. Thank you. I've been playing Guilty Gear and BlazBlue since I started playing fighting games competitively since 2004. And I wanted to just say thank you for making these awesome, fun games. And I have a gift for you.
Super cool.
I didn't see that. That was great.
He was just saying he had sent one of these to the office where they work.
Cool.
You said that you performed Every Day before. Is there any chance we can hear you perform it again by any chance?
Yeah, absolutely. The next time my boss tells me to get on stage.
I think we're gonna go one more. That's it. Oh, never mind. That's it. That is it.
Okay, so as a treat, we brought you a video that we haven't shown ever before. It's not something new. It's not related. It's actually some footage that we made while in development as a proof of concept. It's not as good as the final game, so I want to say that first, but here's the thing. You may have seen some screenshots of it, but here you go.
And no filming.
Alright, so I'll stop right here.
And sorry, the sound is off.
Actually, let me get this one open back in there.
Because we only had the Soul model at that moment, we kind of replicated the model and made it into a new character.
Again, they wouldn't let us get the screen. But for those that have seen it, what do you think? Soul had a different face. Of course, this was no audio.
Since he's a fake Soul, you got the real one.
Got to the real one.
So basically, fake Soul is trying to convince Soul that he's the real one.
Oh man. Oh, he's scared now. Oops. Oh man. That was funny. Oh, good night. Just him in the face. See you later. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah.
So basically, Soul drew over.
That was great. Oh. There you go.
I hope you enjoy the panel.
Thank you very much. Again, they wouldn't let us. But...
And one more announcement. There will be an autograph session at 4:40. Again, at 4:40 at Kensho Hall in the autograph area. 4:40.
So that's it for me. I have one
give it up
more.
for Guilty Gear.
Thank you. That's it for me here. One more panel to go. Hope it goes well. See you later.